Okay, this is a World War II side, and some of these weapons were actually reissued during the Korean War. But here we see the 1903 Springfield with a bayonet in its scabbard, and then we see a training rifle, and then down below here we see an M1 carbine. And the carbine, this lower one, let me get over to, I can point right to it. This is an actual carbine. The paratroopers used one with the folding stock quite a bit, and they usually didn't put a bayonet on. This was built for mainly jungle warfare, or the officers who didn't want to be encumbered with a heavier weapon. They would carry these, or the paratroopers. And the bayonet was carried in a belt scabbard, and they only used it when they absolutely had to, when they ran out of ammunition, or they felt like there was going to be a bonsai charge or something coming. Now, the normal clip was 15-round clip. They had a longer one. You see it behind the wooden practice projectile there. All right, let's go over to the main weapons that were used during World War II. Actually, maybe we should just explain what this is. This is a classroom training model. They weren't used in all bases, but some, and you see that's about 3 to 4 times larger than the original, and it was cutaway. A soldier's life depended on it paying attention in class, and he had to know how to take his weapon apart. So from the back of the class, it was much easier to see the working parts there. And in fact, some trainers would have the recruits blindfolded and take their weapon apart and then reassemble it, and so it would be in firing order. All right, over here, this is a main shoulder weapon that was used up here when pointing. The very top is again another classroom training model of the M1 Garand. Mr. Garand invented that weapon, a very wonderful weapon, 30-06 caliber. I have some variations there. One with the scope was a sniper's model, and then up here to the right is a shortened version of a tanker's model, and then down below is a standard model. I'm going to demonstrate one in a bit. And that had a grenade launcher on the front. You could put that grenade on or the blue rocket underneath it. That could be also put on that. And they didn't use they had a special cartridge similar to a blank that fired that. It was just the pressure that fired it. Oh, maybe about the length of a football field or so. All right, then over to the right are other projectiles that were shot with that grenade launcher. There's a smoke grenade, there's several other types. One could be maybe poison gas or phosphorus, which would burn anything it hit. Now, down below here you see a Model 12 Winchester shotgun. That was primarily the World War II trench gun. It's got a long bayonet on that. And we have guns from later wars represented in between there. However, the very bottom, we have two that were used during World War II. The one very bottom one, real short one, was called a grease gun. That was a 45 caliber, full or semi-automatic, very cheaply made. Wasn't as well made as a Thompson, which is in the middle row up there. Thompson submachine gun. That was a very well-made weapon. It was a lot heavier than the grease gun, but it was very expensive to make. Okay, again back down to the grease gun. Above that is the BAR. Now, enemy snipers, first off, if they could kill the officer of a platoon or squad, they would kill the officer first because leadership. They wanted to destroy leadership. Next would be the sergeant. However, the next one would be the BAR man. That weapon weighed about 20 pounds, had a 20-round magazine, and they could shoot full or semi-automatic, and they had a bipod. a lot heavier, very deadly weapon. It was basically as deadly as the Garand that we talked about earlier. However, just the fact that it was semi-automatic and had a larger cartridge capacity there. Okay, let me demonstrate, and then